All right, so we're just gonna let your videos play here through once so you can see what's what. And then our front view. Okay, so let's start with our side view here. And we have a good leg lift. Okay. If we could get this higher, I would recommend it. But if this is our peak leg lift height for the moment, awesome. Okay. It's in a good angle and it's at a high enough height to be able to help us do some things pretty well. Okay. As we go through hand separation here, which is just when your hands separate from one another or the ball comes out of the glove, we got ourselves into a good closed front arm position, closed front upper half. We also have a closed front half. This is a like one of some that stands out to me would be like a Zach Greinke kind of leg position here as we're coming down. Also like an Aroldis Chapman type front leg here. Okay, we're doing a good job keeping this chin behind our belt buckle so that our weight is back. Okay, this good foot, knee, hip, shoulder angle that we have here is very good. It's showing that we're in a strong position to start. This is going to allow a lot of positive things to have the opportunity to happen. Not a guarantee, but the position that you've gotten yourself into here allows the opportunity for a lot of good things to happen. So, we continue to go. We're doing a good job with this staying closed. All right, and when I say staying closed, meaning that this knee is not opening up, forcing this hip to open up. Staying closed. We're also continuing to have this good backside angle with the knee trying to stay above the foot for as long as it can. And then we can see once it no longer can keep that weight back, it begins to rotate. That back knee begins to rotate into our stride. We call this our front foot strike. When our front foot strikes the ground, it's called front foot strike. So we can see that your back knee is doing a good job rotating, into front foot strike. Our back foot's doing a good job staying connected to the ground for as long as possible, so that way, as that back knee begins to rotate, the back foot can rotate and drive through our big toe. Boom. We're driving through and over top of, boom, our big toe. Just like that. It's real good. And then getting into front foot strike, the one thing that we need to be aware of and start to work on is we can see that our upper body is about halfway rotated from where our shoulders started to where the shoulders will get to at release. At front foot strike, your shoulders are about halfway between those 2 points. Pause. Gotta check the oven. Oh, that ball's pooped on. Alvarez. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a bomb ski. Okay, sorry. Shouldn't have started recording this video while I had food in the oven. And then Yordan Alvarez just hit that 3-run home run. I don't know if you're watching the game or if you're asleep right now, but that was sweet. Okay, so your upper half right now is halfway rotated at front foot strike. I'm going to pull up some videos, and I'm actually going to use the two guys that I made comment of. We're going to use Aroldis Chapman. Boom. And we're going to use Zach Greinke. All right, so we'll start with Zach Greinke. And like I talked about in your leg lift, how as your leg's coming down, you stay closed with this type of angle. So you got you, and then you got Greinke, sharing very similar front legs positions here. Okay. But what we're going to see is once Greinke gets into his front foot strike position, which is going to be right there, you see his belt buckle's to the catcher, but his chest is still to us. We get you into your front foot strike position. Boom. Yes, your belt buckle is to the catcher, but so is your chest almost all the way. Meaning your arm's starting to come through already, as Zach Greinke's arm is still cocked and loaded back there. If we use Chapman as that example. Okay. There's that oven again. So just like I said, you're keeping it closed with your front leg. Chapman has a very similar position on his front leg to keep himself closed. You guys look very similar in this position right here. Okay. But, however, again, like I said, at front foot strike, boom, that foot hits the ground. Yes, the belt buckle, just like you, is to home plate, but not the chest. The chest has not started to rotate forward yet. Your chest is rotating already. So we are going to have to do some drills on what we call upper-lower half separation. Able to have the upper half separate itself from what the lower half is doing. Allow the lower half to rotate, separate the upper half from that, and not rotate the upper half. All right? Because what's going to happen, we're going to watch how much power you have through release here from this position. Is that versus all of that and that. There's just so much more you have left in your tank in terms of power if we can just create more upper lower half separation, if we can just keep this upper half from wanting to rotate early, so that way it's still in this position when the foot hits the ground and not already halfway almost rotated through before it hits the ground. We're close.